Greetings, Pete Murray with Dense Networks. I'm here with Mike Zeto, General Manager of AT&T Smart Cities Initiative. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me.
So, Mike, could you describe what the five pillars are of the Smart City platform at AT&T?
Yeah, sure. So the 5 solution domains that we focus on are energy and utilities, traffic and transportation, public safety, citizen engagement, and infrastructure, right? And those are the solution domains that sit inside of our AT&T Smart Cities framework, which is where we help cities develop a holistic strategy that includes connectivity, applications, those vertically integrated solutions that add value, and then of course making sure that we've got the right alliance members that can help to go out and implement those solutions in the cities.
So do you have a leader in each of those segments who can help champion that?
Yeah, so we have, my group is responsible for making sure that the messaging is in the market, right? And we've created that thought leadership position from AT&T and the Smart Cities group. And so we do have solution domain experts that can come in and help actually sit down with the city and help them frame out a strategy.
Yeah, well, what are the critical skill sets then that AT&T is bringing to the table to help enable this next wave of the smart city?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And if you think about AT&T traditionally, you would think network, right?
Yes.
So,
I know Mike's background is in software.
That's right, and my background is in software. So I was actually the CEO of a startup that was brought to Atlanta. I deployed the capital here, I grew the business, I sold the business, and then went to work for AT&T. And now I started and ran this emerging business, Smart Cities, for us globally. I think, for AT&T, from AT&T's perspective, the thread that's weaved through all of the smart city solutions that get deployed that drive value is network. You've got to have connectivity, right? So that could be fiber, that could be cellular, 4G, and then 5G eventually, coming up here really soon, which will be a game changer. You've got Wi-Fi, and then you've got low power solutions like Cat-M and NB-IoT that are secure, that will be used to move data from a water meter to the cloud, for instance. So you've got the network component, but you also have to think of AT&T a little differently now. AT&T now is not just a communications provider. AT&T is a technology company now. I mean, we've got our foundry located here. We've got the drive studio located here. So we have innovation centers that are allowing us to develop solutions that go up the stack, right? So while our core business will always be, I think, that connectivity component, I think that you'll see us go up the stack more and more, whether it come to be developing security applications, which are very important, to cloud type applications, to data visualization applications like we've created for Smart Cities, our Smart Cities Operations Center, which aggregates data up into a dashboard so that a mayor can walk into a control center and into a room and actually understand what's going on in the city. And some of the mayors have even said to us, this would be a great thing to put in a public library and give transparency and visibility to all of these smart initiatives that are going on around the city that reduce traffic, that create a safer environment, that help people save money regarding water consumption or energy consumption. And so, you're starting to get mayors across the United States, and in particular in Atlanta, to think outside the box a little bit and make sure that they get the citizens involved.
Are you growing really rapidly right now, staffing, and what skills are you bringing onto the team?
Yeah, so the business for us is a global business, right? And I'd even say maybe it's more international first, right? So eventually we could serve all markets, but we're not focused on serving all markets today, right? Really focused on North America and then certain parts of Europe, and then moving down into LATAM, right? We are always staffing with great technology leaders, right? So Smart Cities is extremely complex. It's an ecosystem play, as you know, right? And so it's not just AT&T, it's AT&T and many other companies working together. So that tends to be labor intensive, if you will, right? Managing those relationships, making sure that everybody's in sync, and then actually deploying the projects and getting them to scale, right? So, we're always looking for strong product marketing managers, right? Advocates that live in the cities, that help us spread the word about what we're doing and why it's important for cities to participate in our AT&T Smart Cities framework, in our program. And then, of course, you've always got business development and software developers and technical folks, right? So, those are the areas where we'll be scaling our, headcount over the next, 6 to 18 months.
So you mentioned the ecosystem, and Apple did so well early on with the the apps, and Are you trying to seed that type of community and that type of ecosystem?
So not as much an application marketplace, if you will, but we definitely recognize that the ecosystem needed is large, right? So, we've developed the AT&T Smart Cities framework. One of the pillars in that framework is some initial alliance members like Qualcomm, Cisco, IBM, Intel, GE, right? So some very large companies, but also regionally what we're doing when we go into a city, because for us it is a regional play. It's not just the city of Atlanta, it's the metro Atlanta region. It's not just Chicago, it's all of Chicagoland, right? And then hopefully technologies and adoption scales and you can move that wave and that revolution across the state. But what we're doing is as we go into these cities, we're looking at what some of the smaller, more innovative companies are in the region as well. We're using the large companies as the foundation because their technology is proven, right? And then they also have the financial wherewithal to survive a long project. So you have to be conscious when you bring in startups, you don't want to add to their burn rate.
Yeah.
Right? You want to help them.
We know that.
Yeah, you want to help them do well, right? And then that's what's really good for the regional economies. When you bring them in, if you engage them the right way, that gives the local innovators and the startups the opportunity to truly engage and build their business based on that, not have it hurt their business, right? Working with the big companies. Southern Company has Southern Company Innovation Center right here in Atlanta, right on Georgia Tech's campus, right next to the AT&T Foundry. And right next to the Drive Studio. So the awesome thing about that is that we have the opportunity to innovate together, right? And energy and utilities is one of the 5 solution domains that we're focused on at AT&T. And really the utility does sometimes play the anchor because they may actually own the poles that the streetlights are on. They may have the meters that are connected on homes or on businesses, right? So to your point about smart grid, and utilities in some cases like to run their own network, but we also have an offering for utilities that is our private LTE offering. So we actually will provide spectrum to utilities so they don't have to go out and buy it. And then we're working with a partner, Nokia, that will build the hardware that will work on that secure LTE spectrum.
So, how important, you touched on it, but I mean, the stadiums, the AT&T network is probably the most dense in the world, well, at least in the United States. Yeah. How do you get all these disparate elements to come together within your corporation to create that infrastructure?
Yeah, I mean, look, operators or carriers, they're large companies. Right? So the net of it is, in order to get the support around the organization, it needs to be a business initiative that everybody feels is important, right? And so with Smart Cities, it was one that, CEOs of different businesses rallied around, our chairman rallied around, our chief sustainability officer rallied around, our head of networks rallied around, because really at the end of the day, you need to truly have a very, very strong and substantial network in an area that's going to have millions of devices connected to it, right? And a tremendous amount of data in real time that you can't have latency, right, associated with passing through that network that needs to be secure. So it really did take a village inside of AT&T to sit down and say, hey, this is an initiative that makes sense. It's an initiative that will change the world. And we as AT&T, as the leader in the US from an IoT perspective and frankly globally, have the ability to go out and really drive forward with this Smart Cities business unit and vertical. So it takes a village internally.
So Mike, I want to thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
This has been
Appreciate
great.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Atlanta.